Let's go to Oklahoma. Jeff, welcome to the program.
Hello, Kevin. Thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome. What's on your mind today?
I'm about to enter a lease purchase agreement, and I want to see how fast you're going to tell me to run away from it. I'm a company driver. I've been with this company
before you tell me anything else, just tell me, why will you do a lease purchase instead of just buying a truck?
It's just what's been offered to me, and rather than going out shopping for a truck these days, it's a high resale market. I understand. It's natural and available, and it's the truck I've been in since April of 2020.
Okay, so stop there. Because that might make sense if you can tell me some numbers. But you can't, because it sounds like you haven't even gone out to shop the market yet.
That's true. I've not shopped the resale market.
So how can you make a comparison of which decision makes more sense?
Well, let's just assume for this conversation that I went ahead with the deal on the table.
Why? Why would I assume that? Because I thought the question was, should you do it?
Yeah.
So then what good would it do to assume you've already done it? I don't want to assume that. I thought the idea was, do what now?
It's easy. I think the price is reasonable. I think the terms
Jeff, let me tell you this. Run the other way and do not ever think about getting into business again. Do you know why? You just created the cardinal sin in business. What's the line that I use at the end of every show? Do the hard work. No, don't work hard. I never say that. I said, do the hard work. And you just said, I'm going to do this because it's easy. Think about that. I'm going to put you on hold. We'll come right back with more stuff.
Road Dog Trucking Radio's Trucking Business and Beyond with Kevin Rutherford on Road Dog Trucking Radio.
All right, I'm going to go right back to the phones. I'm talking with Jeff in Oklahoma. Jeff, I only have one segment left. I'd like to take more time on this, but I've got one segment left, and I think it's a good learning moment, a good teaching moment. So I'm going to jump to the chase. I'm going to be a little brutal, so just be prepared. This is more for other people's benefit, really. I have a feeling, I'm going to make some assumptions. I've done this a long time. I don't think you're calling to get my advice about this. You said right off the bat, we'll see how fast you tell me to run away from this. You know what my answer is going to be. But you didn't even really want to talk about that. You said, well, let's just assume I've already done it. Well, that tells me you really don't want my opinion. What you want is to be able to go through your circumstance and then me say, oh, you're the exception, you should do this. That's what you're looking for. You're not the exception. Let me just start there. Did you see how powerful that question is? The one I tell people to use a lot. Why? That's the first thing I asked you. Just tell me why you would do this instead of just buying a truck. And you said, oh, it's easy. That could possibly be the worst answer I've ever heard to that question. Being in business is not about being easy. Entrepreneurs don't even look for the easy way. They want the best way. They want the challenge of finding a way to make this successful. You won't even look. You're not even going to look at any other option other than a lease purchase, which you have no ownership on. I could go through all the reasons why this is a lousy idea. But let's say this. Let's say that somehow this is the best lease purchase program on the planet. It's everything I would do if I built a lease purchase. I would still, my advice to you would be, with your current attitude, don't do it. The odds of you failing at business with your current attitude are astronomical.
Okay. I understand what you're saying.
That doesn't mean you can't change that. So I want you to hear that too. This doesn't mean that you could never be an entrepreneur. I believe anybody can learn. This is a learned skill. It's not a personality thing. You're not doomed to never own a business. But if you want to be successful in business, the first thing you need to change is your attitude about business. You need to learn that business is really risky even when we do all the right things. But your attitude is, I could just skip all that. I'm going to do this because it's easy.
I'm saying the deal's on the table, and I wanted to analyze it, but that's all right. I understand your point.
Okay, and I want to reinforce it because I want to just respond to what you just said. You want to analyze the deal on the table. That's outstanding. That's what you should be doing. But what are you going to analyze it against?
What little familiarity I have with lease purchase deals.
Well, you just answered your own question. What little familiar, which is next to nothing.
Yeah.
But even if you were the expert in lease purchase deals, why analyze it if you have nothing to compare it to?
Right. Okay.
So if I were you and you still want to be in business someday, I would start really just reading and listening to a lot of general business books. Because what you'll find in those books is what the real world of business is all about. You'll find that this isn't easy. It will never be easy. It's always a struggle. No matter I'm going on 4 decades in business. It's amazing to me. I still have to solve problems every single day. You would think after 40 years, maybe you would have the system down where it just worked. Except business is never like that. Business is dynamic and changing constantly. It requires you to see. Here's another part of the problem. I can tell you right now, if you sign this lease purchase deal, you'll probably have a fairly successful first year. Because right now you can make money with a truck with half your brain tied behind your back. If you can't make money in today's economy, I can't even imagine how you couldn't make it in today's trucking economy. It's so strong. But when things turn, you'd be one of the first to drop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because the market is so good right now and expected to be for another year at least.
Well, that's just a guess, though.
I don't want to take out another 2 or 3 weeks to shop for trucks.
That's just a guess that it's a year. I can't know that. Nobody else can either. We're just using the best information we have. What if it turns in 3 months?
Yeah.
And it could.
That's true.
We could go to war someplace. Right. So many things can happen that this economy is so fragile right now, it could be disrupted easily. So the point is, no matter where the economy is, you should always treat your business like it's the worst economy you're ever going to face. How could I run this business and make money in the worst economy I can imagine? Because that might be the case. And if you're not willing to go look at what a used truck would cost, I could do that research in about an hour. Really. It might not even take me that long. I could probably do it in 30 minutes. I could go get a pretty good idea of whatever truck you're looking at doing a lease purchase on. In about 30 minutes, I could go get the numbers I need to find out what it would just cost me to buy that truck on my own. You're not willing to do 30 minutes worth of work to make a better decision.
Yeah. Okay. Can I give you a thumbnail of what the price is on this truck? And
sure, go ahead.
Get your take on that. Okay, it's a 2020 T680 with 287,000 miles on it, and it's $130,000 price.
And you think this is some killer deal?
I think it's an average. It's $12,000 down, and it's zero interest on the balance.
So what? And zero interest,
Okay.
technically, just so you know, you can't do that. The IRS will put an interest rate on this loan. You can't do a zero interest loan on business. The IRS will always try to impugn some interest rate on it, but that's neither here nor there. It doesn't matter. But Jeff, do you see what you just proved?
Go ahead.
You did not call for my advice. Because after I told you, no matter how good the deal is, no matter how good everything looks, I would still tell you not to do it for other reasons that I outlined. You still wanted to tell me about the deal. Why? Because you're still hoping that I tell you this is such a good deal, Jeff, you should go do this. I'm not going to. It's not. You've got to get that through your head. You're approaching this completely wrong. And I called it. I knew that's what this call was all about. You're not calling me for my advice. I get lots of these, by the way. I don't always point them out. I did today because I think it's a good learning moment, and it was obvious on this one. Business is not easy. And if we're looking to make it easy, we're doing all the wrong things. You shouldn't look to make it easy. You should look to make it effective and profitable. And you should be thinking about how you provide value to your customers. And we should be planning a business, not saying, well, I'm just going to do this because it's easy. 30 minutes. I could go find, and honestly, from the top of my head, it doesn't sound like a great deal, but we're missing all the important stuff. What are the restrictions on this deal? I don't know what they are, but I don't care. I didn't ask about them. I didn't ask about the truck. I don't need to. The question about are you going to succeed at this or not has everything to do with you right now and nothing to do with the economy, this carrier, this truck, this particular lease deal. None of that matters. And that's what I was trying to get you to focus on. But after all that talk, I just talked for an entire segment. And remember at the beginning, I said, I'm not really doing this for you. I'm doing this for other people because I knew you really weren't listening to me. And you proved that at the end, because after I said all of that, you still said, well, let me tell you about this deal. I hope you're hearing me now. I really do. I want to help you. I don't want you to see you fail at this. Go listen to some business books. Take my course on business. Hell, send me an email and I'll give you the course for free. We'll be right back with Rolling Toe. Stick around.